Let me tell you something that might sting a little bit, but it needs to be said. Right now, today, you're probably making the same mistakes you made last January. And if you don't fix what's broken in your thinking before we roll into 2026, you'll wake up next December wondering why nothing changed. I've watched this happen to thousands of people, and I'm not going to let it happen to you without at least telling you the truth. See, most people think they need a better job, more money, a different opportunity, but that's not what they need. What they need is a better philosophy. And I don't mean some complicated academic thing. I mean the way you actually think about your life when nobody's watching. The story you tell yourself about why things are the way they are. I'll never forget sitting in my apartment when I was 25. Broke, embarrassed, and confused. I had all these big dreams when I was younger, but somehow I'd ended up with pennies in my pocket and a whole lot of excuses. And I was good at those excuses. I could tell you exactly why I wasn't succeeding. The economy, my education, where I came from, who I knew, who I didn't know. I had the whole list memorized. Then one day, my neighbor, a wealthy man named Earl Schoaf, asked me a question that made me angry at first. He said, "Jim, how much money have you saved in the last 6 years?" I told him I hadn't saved anything. He said, "Who's in charge of that?" And right there, I wanted to explain why it wasn't my fault, but he just looked at me and waited. And in that silence, I realized something that changed everything. I was in charge, not the government, not my boss, not the economy, me. That's when I understood that my philosophy was all wrong. I had a philosophy that said external things control my life. And as long as I believed that, I was powerless. But the moment I changed that philosophy to I am the main factor in my future, everything started to shift. Now here's what most people don't get about philosophy. It's not about being optimistic or pessimistic. It's about being accurate. It's about seeing reality clearly and then deciding what you're going to do about it. And the reality is this: your current philosophy, your current way of thinking has produced your current results. If you like those results, keep the philosophy. If you don't, you better change it before another year passes. I met a man once who'd been working at the same company for 18 years. Every year he complained about the same things. The pay wasn't enough. The boss didn't appreciate him. The work was boring. So I asked him, "What have you done to change it?" He looked at me like I was crazy. "What can I do? This is just how it is." And there it was. His philosophy. This is just how it is. With that philosophy, he was going to be miserable for the next 18 years too. Compare that to another person I knew who started at the bottom of a company. She had the same boss, same pay structure, same everything. But her philosophy was different. She said, "If I make myself more valuable, I'll become more valuable to the marketplace." So she learned everything she could. She volunteered for the hard projects. She studied at night. Within 3 years, she was running a department. Within 5, she was starting her own company. Same circumstances, different philosophy, different life. And this is what kills me about how most people approach a new year. They make resolutions about what they're going to do differently, but they don't change how they think. So they join a gym with the same philosophy that made them out of shape. They start a budget with the same philosophy that kept them broke. They try to improve their relationships with the same philosophy that damaged them in the first place. Then they wonder why nothing sticks. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Your philosophy is either attracting success or repelling it. There's no neutral. Every single day, the way you think is either moving you toward the life you want or away from it. And the scary part is, it's so automatic you don't even notice it anymore. Let me give you a test. When something goes wrong in your life, what's your immediate reaction? Do you look for what you can control, or do you look for who you can blame? Do you ask, "What can I learn?" Or do you ask, "Why does this keep happening to me?" That instant reaction, that's your philosophy showing itself, and it's running your life whether you acknowledge it or not. I spent years with the wrong philosophy, and I can tell you exactly what it cost me. It cost me money, because I blamed the marketplace instead of increasing my value. It cost me relationships, because I expected people to make me happy instead of bringing happiness to them. It cost me health, because I made excuses instead of making changes. And most of all, it cost me time. Years I'll never get back, wasted on a philosophy that didn't work. But here's the good news. The moment you change your philosophy, you change your trajectory. Not overnight, but certainly, definitely, powerfully. When I finally started working on my philosophy instead of just working on my job, everything shifted. I started reading books by people who had what I wanted. I started asking better questions. Instead of how can I get more, I started asking how can I become more. Instead of what's wrong with the world, I started asking what's wrong with my approach. And let me tell you, that's uncomfortable work. It's much easier to blame the economy than to admit you don't understand money. It's much easier to blame your boss than to admit you haven't made yourself indispensable. It's much easier to blame your past than to take responsibility for your future. But easy doesn't change anything. Only truth changes things. Here's something I want you to think about. You've got a philosophy right now about money. Maybe it's rich people are greedy, or money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to have money to make money. And whatever that philosophy is, it's creating your financial results. If you've got a scarcity philosophy, you're going to have scarcity results. If you've got a money is hard to get philosophy, money is going to be hard to get. You've also got a philosophy about time. Maybe it's I'm too busy, or there's never enough time, or someday when things slow down. And that philosophy is creating how you spend your days. If your philosophy says you're a victim of time, you'll always be rushed, always be behind, always be wishing you had more hours. You've got a philosophy about people too. Maybe it's you can't trust anyone, or people always let you down, or it's lonely at the top. And that philosophy is creating your relationships. If you expect people to disappoint you, you'll find people who disappoint you. If you expect people to be untrustworthy, you'll attract untrustworthy people. See how this works? Your philosophy is like a magnet. It attracts evidence that confirms what you already believe. That's why two people can live in the same city, work in the same industry, have the same opportunities, and one succeeds wildly while the other barely survives. Different philosophies. Now, before we get into 2026, I want you to do something most people won't do. I want you to write down your current philosophy. Not the one you wish you had. Not the one you say in public. The real one. The one that shows up in your bank account, your relationships, your health, your daily choices. Write down what you actually believe about success, about money, about work, about people, about yourself. Be brutally honest, because you can't change what you won't acknowledge. Then I want you to ask yourself one question about each belief. Is this taking me where I want to go? If the answer is no, you've found something that needs to change before 2026. If the answer is yes, that's a philosophy worth strengthening. I'll tell you what happened when I did this exercise. I discovered I had a philosophy that said, life is hard and then you die. No wonder I was struggling. With that philosophy, I was expecting hardship and looking for evidence of it everywhere. And of course I found it. Life gave me exactly what my philosophy expected. So I changed it. I adopted a new philosophy. Life is full of opportunities for those who prepare themselves to see them. Same life, same circumstances, different philosophy. And suddenly, I started seeing opportunities I'd been blind to before. They were always there. I just couldn't see them through my old philosophy. This is what I mean when I say your philosophy is more valuable than your next paycheck. Your next paycheck will be spent and gone within weeks. But your philosophy will keep producing paychecks or keep producing poverty for the rest of your life. Think about the compound effect of this. If you've got a faulty philosophy and you live with it for another year, it's not just 1 year of poor results. It's 1 year of reinforcing the very thinking that creates poor results. It's 1 year of missed opportunities. It's 1 year of going backwards while you could be going forwards. That's expensive, too expensive. But if you fix your philosophy now, today, before we hit 2026, every day of next year builds on a foundation of truth instead of error. Every action comes from empowering beliefs instead of limiting ones. Every result reinforces the right things instead of the wrong things. I'm telling you this because I care about your success. I'm telling you this because I've been where you are. I've had the wrong philosophy, paid the price, and finally figured out that changing my thinking was the key to changing my life. And I don't want you to waste the years I wasted learning this lesson. So here's your assignment. For the next 30 days, become a student of your own thinking. Watch what you think when you wake up. Notice what you assume about your day. Pay attention to how you interpret events. Listen to the story you tell yourself about why things happen. That's your philosophy revealing itself. And when you catch yourself thinking thoughts that don't serve you, challenge them. Ask, is that true? Ask, is there another way to see this? Ask, what would someone with the results I want think in this situation? This isn't about lying to yourself or being unrealistically positive. This is about being accurate. This is about building a philosophy based on truth and possibility instead of fear and limitation. This is about taking control of the one thing that controls everything else in your life, your thinking. Before we roll into 2026, get your philosophy right. Because everything else we're going to talk about, everything else you're going to try to improve, it all stands on the foundation of how you think. Build that foundation strong, and everything else becomes possible. Leave it weak, and nothing else matters. Now that you've got your philosophy straightened out, let's talk about something practical. Skills. Because here's what I've noticed. People will spend 40 hours a week using their current skills, but won't spend 40 minutes a week developing new ones. Then they stand around wondering why their income hasn't changed in 5 years. You see, the marketplace doesn't pay you for your time. I know that's what your paycheck says, so much per hour, but that's not really what's happening. The marketplace pays you for the value you bring. And value comes from skills. The more skills you have, the more valuable you are. The more valuable you are, the more the marketplace rewards you. It's that simple. Let me tell you about a young man I met who was working in a warehouse making minimum wage. He was angry about it too. Thought the world owed him more just for showing up. I asked him, what skills do you have that are worth more than minimum wage? He couldn't name one. He said, but I work hard. I said, so does a donkey, and nobody's paying a donkey a fortune. That sounds harsh, but it's true. Hard work without skill is just hard work. It doesn't transform into wealth. It doesn't create opportunities, it just makes you tired. But hard work combined with valuable skills, that's a completely different game. Here's the question you need to ask yourself before 2026. What skills have you developed this year? Not what jobs have you done, not how busy you've been. What new abilities do you have now that you didn't have in January? If the answer's none, you've got a problem. Because while you stayed the same, the marketplace kept moving. Your competition kept learning, technology kept advancing, and you fell behind without even knowing it. I learned this lesson the hard way. I thought just working hard at my job was enough. Show up early, stay late, do what I was told. But I wasn't getting any better. I was just getting older. My skills at 25 were the same as my skills at 23. No wonder my income was the same too. Then Mr. Schoaf taught me something powerful. He said, Jim, don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. That hit me like a truck. I'd been focused on changing my circumstances when I should have been focused on changing my capabilities. So I started developing skills, real skills. I learned how to communicate better because I realized I was losing opportunities by not knowing how to express my ideas. I learned how to read financial statements because I was making decisions about money without understanding money. I learned how to manage my time because I was busy all day but not productive. I learned how to lead people because my success was limited by my ability to work alone. And you know what happened? My income didn't just increase a little bit, it multiplied. Not because the economy got better, not because I got lucky, because I became more valuable. The marketplace was just responding to the new value I could offer. Here's what most people don't understand. Your income right now is a direct reflection of your current skill level. If you want more income, you don't need to complain about it or wish for it or hope for it. You need to develop skills that command more income. It's cause and effect. Think about it this way. If you can only do what 100,000 other people can do, you're going to get paid what 100,000 other people get paid. But if you can do what only 100 people can do, now you're rare. Now you're valuable. Now the marketplace has to compete for you instead of you competing for jobs. So what skills should you develop? Let me give you a few that changed my life, and I've seen change thousands of other lives. First, learn how to communicate. Learn how to speak clearly, write persuasively, listen actively. More opportunities are lost because of poor communication than for any other reason. I've seen people with average intelligence and great communication skills run circles around geniuses who couldn't explain their ideas. Second, learn about money. Not just how to earn it, but how to keep it, grow it, protect it, and multiply. Most people work their whole lives and have nothing to show for it because they never learned financial intelligence. They earned it and spent it without understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, between investing and consuming. Third, learn how to solve problems. Valuable people are problem solvers. If you can walk into a situation that's broken and fix it, you'll never be out of work. You'll never be underpaid. The bigger the problems you can solve, the bigger the rewards. Fourth, learn how to manage yourself. Your time, your energy, your emotions, your focus. Self-management is the foundation of all achievement. I don't care how talented you are, if you can't manage yourself, you won't accomplish anything significant. Fifth, learn how to work with people. Build relationships. Understand human nature. Develop empathy. Success in life is rarely a solo sport. It's about who you know, who trusts you, who wants to work with you, who recommends you. Now here's the key. You can't develop all these skills next week. It takes time. But if you start now, if you commit to developing one skill at a time, by the end of 2026, you'll be a completely different person. You'll be worth more. You'll earn more. You'll contribute more. You'll be more. I tell people this all the time, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. The difference is where you put your effort. Most people spend 8 hours a day making someone else rich and 0 hours a day making themselves valuable. Then they retire poor and wonder what happened. What happened is they invested all their time in someone else's future instead of their own. But you don't have to make that mistake. Starting today, right now, invest in yourself. Read books, take courses, find mentors, practice new skills, make mistakes and learn from them. Do the things that unsuccessful people aren't willing to do, because here's the reality. 2026 is coming whether you're ready or not, whether you're better or not, whether you've grown or not. The year will pass. The question is, will you pass through it as the same person, or will you use it to become someone better? I'm challenging you to choose growth, choose development, choose to become more valuable. Not for the money, though the money will come, but for yourself, for your family, for what you can contribute to the world. The marketplace rewards value, and the more value you can create, the more rewards will flow your way. So before we hit 2026, identify 3 skills you need to develop. Write them down. Make a plan, commit to it, because your future doesn't depend on the economy or luck or connections. It depends on the skills you develop and the value you can create. That's something you control completely. Let me tell you something that's going to make some of you uncomfortable. You're never going to rise higher than the people you spend most of your time with. Never. You can have all the right philosophy, all the best skills, all the ambitious goals, but if you're surrounded by the wrong people, you're going nowhere fast. I know that sounds extreme, but here's what I've observed over decades of studying success. You become the combined average of the 5 people you associate with most. Their attitudes become your attitudes. Their beliefs seep into your beliefs. Their habits become your habits. Their income level starts to look like your income level. It's not magic. It's just influence working on you day after day, conversation after conversation, year after year. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Show me who you spend time with, and I can predict with amazing accuracy where you'll be in 5 years. That's how powerful association is. Now, I'm not telling you to be cruel or cold-hearted, but I am telling you to be wise. There's a difference between being nice to everyone and giving everyone access to your time and energy. You can be polite, kind, and respectful to every person you meet, but you better be selective about who gets your closest attention. I had a friend years ago who kept complaining about being broke. Every time we talked, it was the same story. The system is rigged. Rich people are corrupt. Hard work doesn't pay. On and on. And you know what? After spending an hour with him, I'd feel a little more cynical too, a little more defeated, a little less motivated to pursue my goals. One day I realized something. His poverty wasn't just financial. It was mental, and it was contagious. I had to make a hard choice. I could stay his friend from a distance, but I couldn't afford to keep soaking in his negativity if I wanted to build something with my life. That's when I learned about 3 types of associations: limited, expanded, and disassociation. Limited associations are people you need to spend less time with. Not because they're bad people, but because they're not going where you're going. They've accepted mediocrity. They've made peace with excuses. They're comfortable with complaining. You love them, you respect them, but you limit your exposure because you can't afford to absorb their mindset. Expanded associations are people you need to spend more time with. These are the people ahead of you on the path, the ones doing what you want to do, the ones who've overcome what you're facing, the ones who challenge you, inspire you, and raise your standards just by being around them. You need to find these people and get as close to them as you possibly can. Disassociations are relationships you need to end completely. And yes, sometimes that's necessary. If someone is actively toxic, destructive, or pulling you backwards despite your attempts to grow, you have to protect yourself. You can't save someone who's drowning if they're determined to pull you under with them. Here's what I want you to do before 2026. Make a list of the people you spend the most time with. Be honest, not who you wish you spent time with, who you actually spend time with. Then put them in categories. Are they lifting me up, holding me steady, or pulling me down? The ones pulling you down, limit that time drastically or cut it off entirely. I know that's hard. I know you've got history. I know you care about them. But you have to care about your future more than you care about being comfortable. The ones holding you steady, they're nice people, but they're not helping you grow. Keep some connection, but don't let them be your main influence. The ones lifting you up, spend more time there, invest in those relationships, serve them, add value to them, learn from them, let their excellence rub off on you. And here's the part most people miss. You need to look for people behind you on the path. People you can mentor, teach, and serve. Because when you help someone else grow, you grow too. When you teach what you're learning, you learn it twice as deep. Some of you are thinking, but Jim, successful people won't want to spend time with me. Maybe not right now, but you can still learn from them. Read their books, listen to their talks, study their path, and work on becoming someone they would want to spend time with. Become so valuable, so committed to growth, so excellent in your field that they seek you out. Your associations will determine your direction more than almost anything else. You can't hang around negative people and expect a positive life. You can't spend your time with broke people and expect to build wealth. You can't surround yourself with complainers and expect to maintain enthusiasm. Before 2026, fix your associations. This isn't about being arrogant or thinking you're better than anyone. This is about being intentional with your life. This is about understanding that who you spend time with is who you become. And if you want to become something better, you need to surround yourself with people who are already there. Choose your associations wisely, because they're choosing your future. Now we get to the part where most people fail. Not because they don't know what to do, not because they can't do it, but because they won't stick with it long enough to see results. I'm talking about your daily disciplines, your habits, and the small decisions you make when nobody's watching. Here's what I've learned after all these years. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Failure is nothing more than a few small errors in judgment repeated every day. It's that simple, and it's that difficult. Let me break this down for you. If you eat a piece of cake tonight, will it destroy your health? Of course not. But if you eat cake every night for the next 5 years, you've got a serious problem. If you skip reading for personal development today, will it ruin your mind? No. But if you skip it every day for the next year, you'll be just as uninformed next December as you are right now. That's the slight edge working against you. Small errors in judgment that don't seem to matter today, but compound into massive failure over time. And here's the tricky part. It's easy to do. It's just as easy not to do. That's why most people don't do it. It's easy to save $10 a day. It's also easy not to save it. It's easy to read 10 pages of a good book. It's also easy to skip it and watch television instead. It's easy to take a walk. It's easy to stay on the couch. The choices are easy either way, but the consequences are dramatically different. I met a man once who told me he couldn't afford to invest. I said, "How much do you spend on coffee?" He said, "About $5 a day." I said, "That's $150 a month. Invested properly over 40 years, that's over $1 million. He looked shocked. I said, "You're not too poor to invest. You're investing in coffee instead of your future." See, every choice you make is an investment. You're either investing in your future or investing in your comfort. You're either investing in discipline or investing in regret. There's no neutral ground. Every day counts. Every choice matters. Let me talk about money for a minute, because this is where people mess up their lives more than anywhere else. You need to understand something fundamental. It's not how much you make that matters. It's how much you keep, how much you grow, and how wisely you use it. I've seen people make $50,000 a year and retire wealthy. I've seen people make $500,000 a year and retire broke. The difference wasn't the income. It was the financial intelligence and the daily disciplines around money. Here's a simple formula that will change your financial life if you follow it. When money comes in, divide it into portions. First, set aside 10% for giving. I don't care if you give it to charity, your church, people in need, but give it. This keeps your heart right about money and reminds you that wealth isn't just about accumulation. Second, set aside 10% for investing, not spending, not saving in a regular account. Investing in assets that will grow and work for you, pay yourself first, always, before you pay anyone else. Third, set aside 10% for savings. This is your emergency fund, your peace of mind fund, your opportunity fund. When life throws you a curveball, and it will, you've got reserves. The remaining 70%, that's for living, for bills, for food, for reasonable enjoyment of life. But notice what comes first. Giving, investing, and saving come before spending. Most people do the opposite. They spend first and try to save whatever's left. There's never anything left. Now let me talk about time, because time is even more valuable than money. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. How you spend your 24 hours determines everything. Successful people and unsuccessful people have the same amount of time. The difference is in how they use it. Unsuccessful people spend their evenings watching television, scrolling on their phones, complaining about their day. Successful people spend their evenings reading, planning, working on their skills, building relationships. You want to know what your life will look like in 5 years? Look at how you spend your evenings right now. That's your future showing itself to you today. I challenge people to track their time for 1 week. Write down every hour of every day. What you actually do with it, not what you wish you did. Most people are horrified when they see the results. Hours wasted on things that don't matter. Time spent on distractions instead of destinations. Here's a question that will change your life. Is what I'm doing right now taking me closer to my goals or further away? Ask yourself that question 100 times a day. Before you turn on the TV, before you scroll social media, before you say yes to something. Is this moving me forward or backward? And let's talk about your health, because without health, nothing else matters. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're too sick to enjoy it, what's the point? Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life. If you don't maintain it, it will break down. Get enough sleep. Drink water. These aren't complicated. A child could understand them, but most adults won't do them consistently. Why? Because the results of neglect aren't immediate. You can eat poorly today and feel fine tomorrow. You can skip exercise this week and still function next week. But do that for 20 years, and you've created a disaster. I've watched people work their whole lives to build wealth, only to spend it all on medical bills in their final years because they neglected their health. Don't be that person. Your health is your wealth. Protect it with daily discipline. Here's what you need to do before 2026. Choose 3 habits that will change your trajectory. Maybe it's reading 30 minutes a day. Maybe it's saving 10% of your income. Maybe it's exercising every morning. Whatever they are, write them down, commit to them, track them. Because success isn't owned, it's rented. And the rent is due every single day. You can't skip payments and expect to keep what you've built. The daily disciplines, the small choices, the consistent actions, that's what separates those who make it from those who don't. Stop waiting for January 1st. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start today. Start now. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you can't be disciplined today, what makes you think you'll be disciplined tomorrow? 2026 will be the year you want it to be, but only if you pay the price in daily discipline. The price is small, the rewards are massive, but you have to pay it every single day.